Hi, I'm Julia Sutherland and thank you so much for joining us this morning for the first in this 2019 series of Tune Into Tourism webinars. Now for the next 6 weeks we're going to be focused on digital tourism. So today we're starting at the beginning and we're looking at how you can create a plan to manage all of your online activity. Makes sense, right? I've got two fantastic guests as per usual. First of all, we've got Torres, who is the Director of the Tourism Marketing Agency. We've also got Libby Forbes, who is Partner and Marketing Manager at Forbes of Kingennie Country Resort. So Chris, starting with you. Now when we were chatting earlier, you said that we don't think like a tourism business when we are coming up with our digital strategy. What are we thinking like?
It's quite a controversial thing, but I say that tourism businesses shouldn't act like tourism businesses. They should act like a media company. Because if the amount of content that you have to create and put out there on various platforms, that's the sort of mindset you really need to have in creating good content. So you should be a media company.
Now that's pretty intimidating, especially if you're, your business. The reason that you're gotten into it is because that's what you're passionate about and that's what your skills and talents lie. Running a media company sounds rather difficult.
It shouldn't really be, to be honest. It's, the content that you can put out there is pretty much what you're doing every day anyway. If you're out and about doing tours, or if you're in a hotel and you've got your staff doing certain things, film that, document it, put it out there on various videos or written content. Or you have the tools there actually. With phones these days, you can easily create content and be a media company. So it's not as difficult as it used to be.
We kind of use our own knowledge about our guests. So we speak to all the different heads of departments and see, because they're kind of on the front line, they know exactly who the customers are. So it's speaking to them and getting that information, as well as looking at other things online, like Google Analytics.
We had a customer who we were helping who wanted to target people who are for Valentine's Day, for example. So the thing about Facebook is people will people will mark that they've just been recently engaged, or this and that, or they've just been married, or just in a relationship. So the amount of information you can delve into Facebook at a deep level allows you to then create things like that and allow you to target the right people in the right ways. So another example was, this was a while back, it wasn't in tourism focused, but we had a company who was wanting to rent a flat. In fact, this would work for Airbnb as well. Wanted to rent out one of their accommodations, but it was to rent out a flat to rent. And we were targeting people who were just recently divorced. So, because people will mark that on Facebook as well. So sometimes, and then you can target them, because they were also looking for maybe accommodation. So there's various things you can do, and Facebook's phenomenal for finding out information like that.
I was really interested to hear that actually YouTube is the second largest, search engine.
That's correct. Next to Google, which Google happens to own both. So.
Yeah, interesting. And actually, 79% of people actually search YouTube for travel ideas.
That's right. Yeah. So they search YouTube for travel ideas, but about 67 or 63% of them actually don't even know the destination they're going to go to yet. So actually doing content about your destination is equally as important as trying to sell your products, your experiences. So that's a huge aspect of it.
How important is video content for you in your strategy?
Yeah, huge. I mean, even seeing engagement in video is so much more than just a normal post. For us, we use things like one of our F&B staff, our food and beverage waiting team, is a singer, so she does our live music nights, and we video her, like snippets of her singing, and they always get lots of engagement through that. And we've also used things like fish stocking, so when the fish are getting stocked, we video it, and then you can also use that as almost a competition to say, guess how many fish were stocked today. And we tend to blog about stuff like information, like free information that we know as locals to the area that are going to benefit the people coming to our lodges or the fishermen. So we've done blogs about local, with our self-catering accommodation, there might be food that they're going to buy that isn't necessarily from Sainsbury's and Tesco. So we look at kind of little niche places locally nearby that they can then use. So it is about giving them free information. And yes, it does take time, but we're hoping it kind of builds a relationship where they then think, oh God, this is a great place to get good information.
The best form of Facebook marketing is to do a really cheap ad, spending £5, £10 a day on an advert that drives people to your website, but then do a retargeting ad, again spending £10 a day, for example, targeting the people who visited your website. So Facebook tracks that as long as you've got the Facebook pixel code on your website. Okay. So that allows you to be even doubly targeted on the actual your ads the second time round. And
People
then
that are already
So,
interested.
and you don't need to put a lot of money in that at all. I tend to advise businesses to say you should be spending probably no less than 7% of your turnover. Because if you've gone through a busy period or a quiet period, your budget adjusts depending on what your percentage that you've got. But put in as much as you can afford, and as long as you're getting money back, more money at the end of it, the other side of it, it works, and that's going to do for about 7%. I would say it's probably a good starting point.
Libby, you're slightly more than that, you think?
Yeah,
maybe?
we're probably about 9%. Yeah,
About
that we
9%.
use, yeah.
When it comes to marketing, there's usually about 7 to 8 touch points that you really need. People need to see where you are, whether it's on Facebook or your website or ads, and that. It usually takes about 7 touch points for people to actually then register. Okay, let's see what this company's
7
about.
touch points.
Yeah.
And so what are those touch points then?
Again, it could be finding an ad on Google, it could be seeing your ad on Facebook or seeing a blog post or pieces of content as well. So it's whatever those touch points are. It could be various things.
We kind of plan 12 months, but really it's within those 3 months that we're really focusing in on and setting the themes or reevaluating and deciding is that exactly what we want to go into and filling out our kind of plan. But like you said, we do use Google Analytics and we write little annotations so that we can see when we've done certain activity and how, because I know you understand it right now, but then in a year in advance you've forgotten what you did and you're like, oh, what did I do to get all that traffic? But when you put in the little annotations, when we put out an email or when we do a certain campaign on Facebook, it's then super easy to look back and say, oh wow, that really worked. We can do that again next year.
I would go back to the beginning is knowing what your brand voice is, because without your brand voice you've got nothing to say. So you need to get that nailed down in terms of what your messages are going to be, the tone of voice, your personality. Without that you've got nothing to say.